Hello everybody, hope you're all having a fabulous day. The title of this video is Twin Flames. Stay true to your own experience of love in your heart. As you move deeper into your true authenticity, the people around you may spark desires or trigger desires, remind you of desires that you've been holding regarding your life purpose, maybe stuff that's been put on the back burner. And it will feel great because that's healing the self-abandonment theme of not living one's purpose, and that's something that's continuing to uproot at this time. The whole ego identity goes away. It goes, and it can feel pretty big as it does. So I saw a meme yesterday where how it was a picture of Yoda, and he was feeling really good because he'd been weeding and the entire root came out. Please know that while purging and releasing what doesn't serve you becomes part of everyday life, you'll be able to upheave all of this around your working schedule. There's a lot of really good energy coming up at the moment. It has the feel of I'm back, the re-establishment of your true energy, your true state, the returning energy. And please know that your twin flame will be in the same energy as you, even if they're having their own experience at the moment, which is completely their own. It may not look the same, and that's okay. It's all going to be internal. We can go out in public and not necessarily show what's going on underneath. And it's the same for them. The internal experience is what we're looking for. And more of that returning energy. Returning to oneself. The twin flame returning home. It's all one and the same. The shift can happen in a split second. It's not necessarily something we can see happening. There's a lot of energy of toxicity that's leaving the collective and making room for more love to rush in, making room for twin flames to rush in. People are integrating more with their divine selves. No corner in consciousness should be overlooked. This is to make sure that you have a solid foundation, deeply rooted in divinity, so that down the line, when your twin flame comes in, you can, together, continue your ascension to harmonious union and your heaven on earth. We're here to do that. Some people get into their union, but they don't heal the codependency in their union, and they don't continue the path to harmonious union and perfect union. The harmonious union is a waypoint to perfect union or full enlightenment. Some people don't want to truly be with all of themselves. Like in Buddhism, where people reach the solitary bliss of nirvana, they get attached to that and they don't give a stuff about anyone else, and they fail to continue on the path to full enlightenment. They're afraid to lose their union for the greater union. This way is much better because we arrived at this work with harmonious union in our hearts from the beginning, and that's why our twins distanced and started mirroring. And the mirroring, particularly at the start, could have been very intense, and as my dear friend Drake said, his channel is Diving into the Divine, he said that the mirroring is much more painful when we have been numbing out, when we had been so numb to our feelings at the beginning of the journey. So it should be getting easier and easier. If someone meets their twin flame and comes into union but have not claimed harmonious union, they may be able to maintain a union, but really it's not much better than a basic relationship, not much more than a codependency, as it's still got unhealed fears in it. It's just a relationship. I know of a twin flame couple that are in this kind of situation, and one wasn't doing anything to support the union and was in fact shouting about going deeper. And the other was felt that they had to submit instead of disciplining their twin flame and healing together. This really is about something far greater. It's literally building the kingdom of heaven on earth. If you choose to support yourself with resources like readings, for example, it's more than just listening to them when they arrive. It's about sitting with each segment and really feeling into that energy and clearing it. The purpose of the reading, so that it shifts into a new reading, is to actually work through what it finds, so take the time to do so. No matter what's going on right now with your twin flame, whatever they're going through, remember you have eternity. And I know how wishy-washy it sounds. Oh, it's going to take forever. But we're living life now. And if we can't be happy in our now, how can we be any happier when our twin flame comes in and amplifies everything? When our twin flame does come in, we want a good foundation for our union so we can glide naturally and swiftly into our harmonious union frequency. And we'll be able to do that because we've already shown up in all the places where other couples who fell out of their harmonious union frequencies hadn't yet built. It's perfectly okay to just get going with that for now and know that the twin flame will come in at the right time. It's much better to choose for them to come in at the correct time rather than ASAP at all costs, because that can cause an awful lot, well, that opens a whole new can of worms. So it's okay to take your time. We don't know what they're going through. We can guess. We can feel into the energies, but really there's no way of controlling that at all. We just have to let it play out the way that the divine knows best. And it will, because it did for us too. And the deeper we go with ourselves, the better. Work through all the blocks with them. Both before and after they come in. Allow all of the fears to come up for release. Go deeper and deeper. It's the only way to have a sustainable, harmonious union. If you don't commit to healing the blocks, you won't make it. Work the process. Stay true to your own experience of love in your heart. When something comes up, some feeling arises to work through, keep on at it until you know you've done. See how insignificant the triggers have become since you started your journey. I mean, at the beginning of the journey, you get triggered maybe by something on social media and it's like, ah! But not anymore. Now it's like, pfft. I mean, if you're not there yet, that's something you've got to look forward to. It becomes such a non-issue. It's like, oh yeah, whatever, bollocks. It's just a picture on social media, for example. It doesn't mean anything. It's not the truth. That's the big lie that's being uprooted. It couldn't possibly be true. What's in our heart is the truth. Some divine counterparts are only sharing stuff at this time on social media that's really superficial. Perhaps something about the European Cup. But please know there'll be a lot more going on under the surface. They'll be finding it very hard to numb out their feelings if you're choosing to feel your feelings. It's really about realising that we were numb in all these subtler and subtler places. But when the feeling comes up, you can be like, oh yeah, I see, this is where I was numb before, months ago, years ago. Go there. Find all the places that were numb and continue to heal that pathway. Every little nook and cranny. That's what you're doing in consciousness. Do that until the foundation is built and there's no other option but the union. Be like flowing water. Flow into every little opening. Love's like that too. Just allow. Open the door. Let love in. It's okay to build a solid union. You don't need your twin flame present at this particular moment in time to do this, but you do need to partner with them when they do arrive. There's no getting away with holding back, backing down, whimpering, trying to keep the union above the truth. We're not doing that anymore. That's what's purging right now. And many divine counterparts are craving their freedom right now. They're having a crisis. D.H. Lawrence writes something about that. No, but seriously, they're wanting fresh air, speed, velocity to get away, feel the wind in their hair, needing to play, to be alone. More than likely, the divine masculines especially, the way they go into a meditative state is to take themselves off, internalise, to meditate in their own way. And I mentioned this in a couple of previous videos about a union I know of that's recently come together. A divine masculine who recently came into his union had been spending time with himself, and he'd been experiencing a crisis of feeling. Excuse me. He felt all the love. They'd had a relationship before, but he also felt the blocks, the fears, the anxieties, and the impossibility of being with his twin flame. Every time that situation came up, his fear would be present, so he couldn't move in that direction, so he stayed away. There was a wall of stuff to work through, but when she cleared the said wall of stuff and made her final claim and surrendered, it led to the opening where he was no longer experiencing these feelings that were keeping him away, and he was able to connect with his true feelings and his heart, and was able to step forward effortlessly, because he said there was nothing stopping him and the love was all there. He just kept it hidden retreat, and he laughed about it. That's the divine masculine coming home. It's so important for people to hear. You'd have never thought that he'd be the sort of person who'd be into learning the mirror exercise. He's just a regular guy. You think, what on earth? But he was focusing on the divine first, meditating a lot and spending time with himself. Surrender, surrender, surrender. And you'll find that what used to be seemingly impossible becomes conceivably possible. And it happens a lot. The divine is orchestrating this path. It's not a cul-de-sac. It's a direct road to the outcome. This is what's promised here. Harmonious twin flame union. How do you feel about being able to receive it? Become clear on your desires and give them to God. Your heart's saying it's this person, and because you're honouring God and honouring your heart, there's no reason to invalidate yourself. This is what people did earlier in the journey. Oh, it might not be. What if it isn't? We're not doing that. We've been through that. And the clearer we are, the clearer they'll be. We want to drop down, but not cling. Just give the next piece to God. Say, I see this is what you're showing me, God, and now I give this to you, because I know I have no control over this process whatsoever. It's entirely in your hands. It never was in my hands. Very often, also just before union, there comes a bit of a crisis for one or both. It's okay to acknowledge that. Quite naturally, that's only to be expected, because there's a big shift happening. And when it does happen, as you know, it can be a snap of the finger, an instant shift from them feeling, I'm afraid, I can't do this, to, oh, that energy is not there anymore. The divine masculine that I have been talking about isn't the only one that I've seen who's going through a crisis prior to union. So if you see your twin flame looking a little bit rough or old, sorry, private joke, don't worry, none of us look great when we're in the middle of massive upheaval. The truth is, they're purging a lot of crap, and it was there all along, and numbing out to it doesn't achieve anything. It's always still there. So I have compassion for them at this time. Know that they're on a completely different level to the people around them. They're one of their own at the moment. As Rumi said, the lover is alone wherever he is. And that leads into the knowing that you can't make something real that isn't, which leads us into another quote from Billy from EastEnders, of all people. You can't make yourself be into someone that you're not really into, and you can't deny being into someone when you are. Trauma bonding can make it seem like one needs to stay in a relationship, or maybe not seeing a way of getting out of a situation. And rather than feeling happy or loved there, it's all that one believes that they can have, so they may as well stick with it. It's more of a resignation. This is what's being uprooted. This is what's being healed through. You can have this love of a lifetime. And these patterns will be gone forever. All you have to do is not quit. Okay, my friends, I'm going to put this message to bed now. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to talk about any particular topic, please let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.